Hey there, folks. It's Saturday morning, and I thought I would record another one of these coffee talks with a mentor. Again, this idea came to me because I'm seeing dozens of requests to go to coffee a week now. It used to be, one, two, three, four, five a week. Now it's dozens. I just can't say yes to everyone, and in fact, it may get to a point where I have to say no to everyone because I just feel like I can't. I can't, spend the time, doing all of that. So what I am doing with this series is because that's becoming increasingly hard to do is I am taking my past experience with talking to hundreds of new investors who are asking for mentoring or 30 minutes of my time or lunch or whatever, and um, recording these because hopefully these become, the best way for me to communicate and help the masses. Frankly, the best way going forward, probably get a hold of me, is through my private Facebook group. This group is only open to students of my course. My course gives you homework to do right out of the gate. So I had to create a place for them to ask questions, share what they're thinking, right? I talk about learning your market, comparing deals, building a team, all of those things. It's really everything that we did on our journey to one rental at a time. Um, and frankly, I'm so glad we created it. It took a couple of months, but it is proving to be something that's creating focus and really, really building confidence in folks. So it's really quickly becoming the only way you can really get a hold of me is via that course. I have it priced what I consider ridiculously cheap, below $200. It's $199. There'll be a link in the description below. Go check out the website, see what's there. Again, if it's for you, awesome. Make sure you join the private Facebook group. If it's not, don't worry about it. I'm going to keep creating daily free content because frankly, I'm having fun. So that's why I'm doing it. So let's bring up today's coffee talk topic and we will get started. So let's blow this up so it's bigger so we can all see it. Awesome. So again, this coffee talk is one I have on occasion, and it typically is not. Typically, we have to do some healing before we really can get going. And this is from folks that were burned in 2008. I just picked 2008 because I have to pick a time. But basically, they bought before the bubble, probably bought at the peak, probably used variable rate financing, and probably lost them to a short sale or maybe even a foreclosure. 2008 hurt. It hurt bad. It hurt lots of people. It was a terrible time. I mean, I've told the story many times that I knew somebody who was doing Bay Area flips that was worth a legit 10 million bucks. That was bankrupt 18 months later. Once he lost one project, they all just went. So it was bad. So having these conversations with someone who's now 12 years after being burned, we need to have some heart-to-heart conversations. So if that happened to be you and you're coming back to real estate investing, I hope this coffee talk with a mentor helps you. First and foremost, I do recommend you read the book. It is our story. It starts before the crash. It talks about what we did right near the peak to kind of save save us, protect us, how we reacted when the banks started saying no in the crash, and what we've been doing since the real estate's return. So, and if you have read the book, I say this all the time, but do me a favor on Audible or Amazon, leave a 5-star review. We're trying to get to 150 Amazon reviews. I think we were at 140 this morning. And yes, I do check almost every day. So I appreciate all the reviews that go out there. Thank you. So the first thing I want to do with somebody who comes to me and says, hey, I was burned in 08, I lost some properties, I lost some money, is I just want to get it on the table, right? What happened? What'd you learn? That takes some time. And usually it goes, hey, I bought at the peak, I bet on appreciation, I used variable rate financing or teaser loans or liar loans or whatever. And then when the interest rate changed, I couldn't afford it. That's basically the story. right? I was carrying too much stuff. It was all empty. I bet on, I had some people that bought in Louisiana, I think, because of the increased depreciation that they were offering. And it was just bad. So that takes some time. And really for me, when that happens, I just need to listen, right? I need to let them get it out. And they need to feel better when they get it out. Then what I do is I turn the conversation, well, I'm sorry, that hurt. I can see that was emotional, but why do you want to do it again? I mean, you touched the hot stove was hot, it burned your hand. Why are you coming back? So what I'm really trying to get from there, and they usually can't pick up on it, is I'm trying to figure out if they've really learned anything. Too many people I talk to forget how bad it was, and they still, for whatever reason, think it's get rich quick. There's nothing in our book, One Rental at a Time, that should be perceived as get rich quick. It was a 15-year journey of tons of mistakes and some luck and constant execution. So if I'm talking to someone that is once again kind of talking about get rich quick or want to be out in 2 years or 4 years or something like that, I want to know, right? I want to know who's on the other side of the table. Are they a gambler? Are they desperate? Are they going to fall for the snakes in the grass? What's going on? The other thing I want to do is, because again, right, if you've been watching this channel, I'm very clear. I think we're at the top of the market, certainly at the top of the market for multifamily. So why would you want to do it now? I mean, you came in 08, that was a peak. Why do you want to come in now? I mean, have you forgotten what it was like to buy at the peak? I'm trying to scare them, right? I'm trying to scare them. I'm trying to figure out if they're gamblers or desperate. So if they handle this and they say things like, nope, I just want to get one, right? I want to get one a year. Well, if that's kind of your pace and your goal is 4, like I talk about, it doesn't really matter, right? Because you're going to be holding for the long term. Real estate will come back. You're going to conservatively finance. You're going to do better this time. But a lot of the people that I talk to don't realize that we're at the peak again, and they're kind of repeating, or at least potentially repeating, what happened last time. And I'm trying to warn them, be cautious. So I'm trying to figure out, are they willing to go slow? Would they even consider conservatively financing? It is amazing how many people I talk to that was burned in 08 that want to come in and talk about 3.5% down and house hacking and doing all these other things. Maybe they want to do BRRRR out of state and they have no boots on the ground. And maybe it's the cheap houses in Detroit that cost less than a car. I mean, some people are addicted to the chase and the gamble. And I'm going to do whatever I can to scare them to death because I don't want them to get hurt again. It's not easy. You have to do your work. You have to know your market. You have to have a team. You have to be able to compare deals. Just because a house costs less than a Honda Accord doesn't make it a good deal. Just because a book makes BRRRR look easy and it's awesome in an Excel spreadsheet doesn't mean it works all the time. There are so many ways you can lose money with real estate. If you are trying to invest with a short-term horizon, and yes, I consider BRRRR short-term because you need that refi to get out. And what happens if your refi comes in 10, 15, 20% low and you can't get all your cash out? What happens? Did you borrow private? Did you borrow hard money? Man, I'm trying to help people. So what are you looking to buy or invest in now? Most of the people that I talk to that come back to me in 2008, and probably all of them, but I don't want to say all because all is just, it's too declarative. Let's say most. They were doing single family homes or condos in 08. Too many people are coming to me today saying, I made a mistake with houses. I'm going to buy apartments now. Oh, do you not know what a top of a market looks like? Why do you want to invest when a cap rate's below 4? I mean, really? That's when you want to invest? So again, I'm trying to scare them. I'm trying to make them cautious. I'm trying to see if they're gambling or desperate. The other thing I really, really, really want to know is your significant other on board? I have had too many conversations with one party, wife or husband, or boyfriend or girlfriend, that says, I want to do this. It's my path, blah, blah, blah. And I ask about the significant other, and they're like, no, they don't want to touch it. They remember last time. They don't want anything to do with this. They don't even let me talk to them. At which point I point to my book and say, did you not read what happened to us in this book? If Olivia and I were not on the same page, we would not be financially free. Bad stuff happens in this business. And if you try to do this alone, you might win for a couple of days, and then something bad's going to happen, and you're going to risk your relationship. Trust me, real estate is not worth your relationship. Listen, understand, go get on the same page. And if they've been burned from '08, you got to respect that. That was painful. That hurt. People have long memories. Don't force them. And then I try to figure out why they're excited, right? Is it multifamily because bigger and better and Grant Cardone makes it look easy? Is it BRRRR because of a book that makes it look so simple? Is it out of state and the cheap houses? Something has got these folks looking again. And I need to figure out, is it the conservative buy and hold strategy that I talk about? Or is it the rainbow and unicorn sung by other folks that talk about multifamily, BRRRR, or out-of-state investing? What is it? Because I need to know if this is worth my time, right? If you're excited by something that I consider dangerous, we're going to end the conversation really early, because I'm not your person that's going to help you. I think a lot of real estate is hard, and a lot of real estate is risky. And I think buy and hold, conservatively financed long-term debt is the right answer. And some people don't like that. They like the gambling, the chase, and I'm just not that person. I need to figure out their goals, their timelines, their unit count, cash flow. Again, I'm trying to figure out and test in 5 different ways what's got them excited. Is the answer, you know what? I just want to get 1 rental property for each of my kids. Awesome. Is it, I need 1,000 units like all the people on social media? Not awesome. Is it, I want to take my 50 grand and recycle it over and over and over and over again with BRRRR? Not awesome. Right? What is it? What is the goal? And then how fast, right? Do you think this, again, is a get rich quick 2-year journey? Not good. Is it, you know what? I just want to be a little better prepared when I retire? Awesome. Right? What's going on? I want to know if that person sitting across the table is willing to do what they did not do last time. Last time they gambled. They got in because everybody was talking about it. I want to know, are you willing to pick a market, stay focused, remove the shiny object syndrome, and do some boring, repetitive things for 30, 60, or 90 days? That's what I teach. That's what I talk about. It is not sexy, but it builds focus and confidence. If that's what you want and that's what you got, I am it. Get the course, join the private Facebook group, and let's get to talking. If you are out and you've just got a hole in your pocket, right, money in your pocket that you want to burn, I'm out. I'm leaving. I don't need to be around that, because I don't like, I remember the downside. I remember feeling horrible for folks that I knew in my personal network. It's not good. I'm going to put all the bad stuff out there. I'm going to talk about what happened to us in the book. I'm going to remind them about the importance of being in this together. I'm going to promise them that if they're in this business long enough, that bad stuff will happen again. Are they ready for it? Or if it happened again, would it just destroy them? Trust me, real estate is not worth your relationship. It is not worth your mental health. And unfortunately, I can guarantee with pretty good certainty that bad stuff will happen at some point in the future. Somebody will lie to you. Somebody won't pay you. Somebody will steal from you. Mother Nature will do what Mother Nature does. I'm sorry, bad stuff happens. I want to make sure they're willing to do the boring homework, right? Did they look at their market cycle? Whatever market, whatever asset they chose. Did you look at what happened in 2000? What happened in 2010? Where is it at today? I want to know that they're doing the legwork to make sure they are not buying at the peak again, right? This conversation starts with them telling me how they got hurt last time. Well, does today feel like last time? Are you seeing the same things or is something different? Being burned in real estate happens, right? It you know, it's a long game. It's a business. People make mistakes all the time. It doesn't have to be the end. But if you're not learning from your mistakes and you're repeating them, that's unacceptable. That's not okay. And frankly, more than half the people that I talked to that got burned in '08 are doing something that makes me uncomfortable and makes me think they're going to get burned again. And that's a terrible feeling. For someone who cares about other people, seeing them potentially set up to have the same kind of mistake as last time. And I tell them, I'm not shy. I try to make it obvious. You've seen this coffee talk. It's not been fun. I'm trying to figure it out if they're going to repeat mistakes, and far too many of you are. Again, I'm a boring investor. I want to make them leave that coffee talk thinking about four rental properties. If they're willing to have that conversation, they're willing to conservatively finance them, I want to help them, right? I feel bad for what happened in '08. I've probably now have been with them for 30 or 40 minutes. And if we can get to talking about, no, I just want 4 rental properties, that's awesome. Unfortunately, too many of them are talking about thousands of units or hundreds of units. They're talking about trying to BRRRR 5 projects in out of state where they have no boots on the ground, or it's just scary, scary, scary. In the end, I want to thank you for this coffee talk. It's been fun. Typically, typically these conversations, again, more than half of them, it's kind of tragic to say, more than half of those conversations leave me feeling like, oh my God, they're going to get hurt again. And that doesn't feel good. But for the 30 or 40% of them that I feel good that they're going to be conservative, they're going to do the boring, monotonous work, they're going to let all of the nonsense leave them, right? They're going to let the shiny objects and they're just going to focus. And we're going to talk about 4 rentals. I feel good about. Most of them go about and they get my course because they have to be focused, right? They're supposed to learn their market, compare deals, build a team, and then all that other nonsense on social media goes away. These are some of my most painful coffee talks because I'm not shy. I am trying to scare them or realize that they might be repeating mistakes. But I leave many of these coffee talks feeling uncomfortable. And that's unfortunate. So hopefully this makes sense. Don't repeat the mistakes from '08. And of course, have a great day.